The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, Colombo West Terminal project progresses ahead of schedule, boosting port capacity and economic confidence. Sri Lanka's tea production declines by 7.8% year-on-year in August amid lower output across elevations. Colombo stocks rally as investor confidence strengthens amid positive market sentiment. And Wall Street closes mixed as investors react to Fed's latest rate decision.
From Studio 24C, here's Anuradi Vikramasinghe.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Colombo West International Terminal, led by Adani and John Keel's Holdings, is set to complete ahead of schedule by late 2026, boosting port capacity to 3.2 million TEUs. The 840 million project shows strong early performance with 153,828 TEUs handled since launch and break-even expected within the first year.
The Colombo West International Terminal, developed by India's Adani Group and Sri Lanka's John Keel's Holdings, is expected to complete its second phase by late 2026, ahead of its February 2027 deadline. The $840 million deepwater terminal, part of a 35-year build-operate-transfer agreement, is located at the Port of Colombo and aims to double its capacity to 3.2 million TEUs annually. The first phase began operations in April 2025 with 153,828 TEUs handled by July, indicating strong initial performance. JKH expects the terminal to become cash positive within its first year as volumes continue to grow. The project highlights renewed investor confidence in Sri Lanka following its financial crisis and reflects strategic regional dynamics with Indian and Chinese interest operating adjacent terminals.
In a landmark move to modernize Sri Lanka's judiciary, the Supreme Court launched the e-Courts project, featuring a web portal and an integrated e-case management system. The project, developed in collaboration with the Judicial Service Commission and Ministry of Justice, aims to enhance transparency, efficiency and citizen access across all court levels. The launch event, held at the Judges Institute Auditorium, was led by Chief Justice Preeti Padman Surasena and attended by key government and legal dignitaries. The system provides real-time case updates, downloadable judgments, online certified copy issuance, judicial statistics and digital services for legal professionals. Future expansions will include e-filing, virtual hearings and full digital document management. Sri Lanka's tea production dropped 7.8% year-on-year in August 2025 to 19.68 million kilograms, though green tea saw a slight growth. Year-to-date output rose 176.82 million kilograms, up 4.34 million kilograms from 2024, with most elevations showing gains.
Sri Lanka's tea production declined by 7.8% year-on-year in August 2025, falling to 19.68 million kilograms from 21.34 million kilograms in August 2024. The drop was seen across all elevations except for green tea, which recorded a marginal increase. Despite the YOY fall, August 2025 output was higher than the 18.36 million kilograms recorded in August 2023. Cumulative tea production for January to August 2025 reached 176.82 million kilograms, marking a 4.34 million kilograms increase over the same period in 2024. Compared to 2023, cumulative output rose by 2.23 million kilograms. All elevations recorded growth in the year-to-date figures except for high-grown tea.
President Andra Kumar Dissanayake launched the construction of 6 new oil storage tanks at the Colombo Petroleum Storage Complex, aiming to prevent fuel shortages and ensure energy security. The project, costing 3.7 billion rupees and scheduled for completion by September of 2027, will significantly increase Sri Lanka's petroleum storage capacity. The president emphasized the need to modernize institutions with technology and science while urging public support for economic sovereignty. He warned against union resistance to government reforms and highlighted efforts to reduce electricity costs through renewable energy projects. President Dissanayake also criticized past political interference in public institutions and reaffirmed the government's commitment to transparency and efficiency. Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Sri Lankan stocks ended higher today, reflecting improved investor sentiment. Both major indices recorded notable gains at market close. For further insights on this, we have Salama Sanoon from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Colombo Stock Exchange continued to thrive on the built-up momentum from the previous session as the all-share price index closed with a gain of 190 points at 20,965. The index continued to move upwards throughout, although brief moments of volatility emerged. Key contributors to the upward movement included Nations Trust Bank, TFCC Bank, John Keells Holdings, Selinco Holdings and Melster Corp. Today's rally was led by the retail segment, followed by a reasonable level of high net worth involvement as well. Turnover for the day reached 6.9 billion rupees, reflecting a 9% decline compared to the monthly average of around 7.6 billion rupees. In terms of sector-wise contributions to turnover, the diversified financial sector took the lead with a share of 24%, while the banking sector and the capital goods sector followed behind with a share of 32%. The top three price gainers for the day were First Capital Treasuries PLC, Hunter & Company and Bansai Royal Resorts, whilst the top three price losers were SMB Finance Voting, Standard Capital PLC and TES Agro Voting. Thank you.
Sri Lanka's economy showed positive growth in the second quarter of 2025, reflecting continued recovery momentum. Key sectors like industry and services contributed to the overall economic expansion during the period. For further insights on this, we have Shahana Kanagaratnam from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. Benefiting from the favorable economic conditions that prevailed over the past 7 quarters, the Sri Lankan economy reported a positive expansion of 4.9% for the second quarter of 2025. This simultaneously highlights the 8th consecutive quarter with recorded positive economic growth rate and the continuous recovery of previous economic downturn. The GDP for the second quarter of 2025 at constant price of 2015 has increased up to Rs 2,884 billion from Rs 2,750 billion, which was reported in the second quarter of 2024. Meanwhile, the gross domestic product at current prices registered a 10.5% of positive change. Agricultural activities, industrial activities and services activities all reported increases of 2%, 5.8% and 3.9% respectively. Within agricultural activities, after a period of subdued performance, most of the activities reported expansion during the second quarter of 2025. In the industrial activities, construction industry and mining and quarrying industry grew 8.5% and 16.6% respectively by stimulating overall growth. Within the services activities, apart from the reported 2.1% decline in the public administration and defense sub-activity, all other services subsectors reported positive expansions. Thank you.
Gold prices extended declines in Asian trading today, slipping from record highs as the US dollar rebounded after the Federal Reserve lowered interest rates in a widely expected move and signaled a measured approach to further policy easing. Spot gold fell 0.7% to $3,635.55 an ounce, extending a nearly 1% loss from the previous session, where it reached a fresh record high of $3,707.40 an ounce. US gold futures for December delivery dropped 1.3% to $3,670.45 an ounce. Other precious and industrial metals were pressured yesterday by a stronger greenback. Silver futures dropped 1.1% to $41.72 per ounce, while platinum futures were largely unchanged at $1,370.80 an ounce. Benchmark copper futures on the London Metal Exchange slipped 0.5% to $9,945.80 a ton, while US copper futures also declined 0.5% to $4.60 a pound. Oil prices fell in Asian trade today, losing steam after rising to 2-week highs as markets digested an interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve, as well as mixed readings on U.S. oil inventories. Brent oil futures for November fell 0.5% to $67.62 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude futures fell 0.5% to $63.37 a barrel. U.S. oil inventories shrank by a bumper, unexpected 9.285 million barrels in the week to September 12th. gasoline inventories also shrank by 2.3 million barrels, driven chiefly by high exports. The distillate build showed demand for fuels and other oil derivatives was cooling ahead of the winter season, which usually entails softer oil demand. The Sri Lankan rupee remains steady against the US dollar at commercial banks in Sri Lanka today compared to yesterday. This appreciation is attributed to improved foreign inflows from tourism, remittances and exports coupled with tighter monetary controls. However, the rupee remains sensitive to global economic factors and domestic policy decisions. Let's take a closer look now on how the Sri Lankan rupee has performed against other major global currencies. Short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Ceylon Bank PLC has partnered with Brown's EV to offer exclusive leasing facilities for electric vehicle buyers, promoting sustainable transportation in Sri Lanka.
Ceylon Bank PLC has entered a strategic partnership with Brown's EV to provide exclusive leasing facilities for customers purchasing electric vehicles. The collaboration offers competitive interest rates starting at 10% and repayment periods of up to 7 years. Customers benefit from fast-track approvals within 24 hours and dedicated leasing specialists providing doorstep assistance. Ceylon Bank's extensive branch network ensures seamless support throughout the leasing process, from documentation to post-approval services. Brown's EV director highlighted that the partnership will make EV ownership more accessible and accelerate Sri Lanka's shift towards greener transportation.
Bank of Ceylon has launched Sri Lanka's first biodegradable banking card made from non-edible corn-based PLA, marking a major step towards reducing plastic waste. The industrially compostable card offers an eco-friendly alternative to traditional PVC cards, aligning with BOC's commitment to sustainability and innovation. This initiative supports several UN Sustainable Development Goals and is part of BOC's broader strategy to integrate green technologies and digital solutions. Customers can switch to the biodegradable card upon renewal without compromising security or functionality. The launch highlights BOC's leadership in environmental stewardship within the Sri Lankan banking sector. TFCC Bank is celebrating its 70th anniversary with the 70 Winners 70% Cashback campaign, rewarding customers who make bill payments via the DFCC One app. Running until the 30th of this month, the initiative promotes digital banking adoption while honoring decades of customer loyalty.
DFCC Bank is celebrating its 70th anniversary with a special campaign called 70 Winners or 70% Cashback to reward customer loyalty and promote digital banking. The campaign offers 70 customers a 70% cashback when they make bill payments of any value through the DFCC One app. This initiative runs until September 30 and aims to encourage greater use of the bank's secure and convenient digital platform. The DFCC One app, known for its user-friendly features, continues to play a key role in the bank's vision for seamless customer experiences. By linking anniversary celebrations with digital adoption, DFCC Bank strengthens its position as a forward-looking institution blending tradition with innovation.
Mercantile Investments has partnered with Ideal Motors to offer attractive leasing solutions for the Mahindra Bolero City Pickup, a durable commercial vehicle ideal for small businesses and logistics operators. MI will maintain a dedicated inventory of Bolero City Pickups, ensuring quick availability for customers. The leasing package includes benefits such as free first-year insurance, free registration, hospitalization coverage for the driver, accident coverage up to 300,000 rupees, and rental fee waivers if repairs exceeded a month. The partnership strengthens a trusted relationship between MI and Ideal Motors. The Memorandum of Understanding was signed by MI COO Laksandha Gunawardhan and Ideal Motors Director Legal and Corporate Affairs Nimisha Welcomer. HNB Assurance PLC celebrated its Partnership Awards 2025 for the second consecutive year on an international stage, hosting the event in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The ceremony honored the exceptional achievements of its partnership channel, a key driver of the company's growth and success.
HNB Assurance PLC hosted its Partnership Awards 2025 at the Royal Signature Hotel in Kuala Lumpur, marking its second consecutive year holding the event internationally. The awards celebrate the outstanding contributions of the company's partnership channel, which plays a crucial role in driving growth. Executive Director and CEO Lasitha Vimalaratne highlighted the partnership channel as one of the company's strongest pillars, contributing significantly to its success. Over the past year, the channel achieved record numbers of MDRT qualifiers, COTs and TOTs, reflecting exceptional performance. HNB Assurance was also recognized as Sri Lanka's best life bank assurance provider for the fifth consecutive year by the Global Banking and Finance Review.
Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Most Asian stock markets advanced today, with Japan rallying to a fresh record high after the US Federal Reserve reduced interest rates and signaled further cuts. The Nikkei 225 jumped 1.2% to a fresh record peak of 45,296.21 points. The broader Topix index rose 0.6%. The Kospi surged 1%, climbing back near record highs touched earlier this week. Hong Kong's Hang Seng edged 0.3% lower. China's Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 edged 0.3% higher, while the Shanghai Composite Index gained 0.5%, hitting a fresh decade-high level. Singapore's Straits Times Index gained 0.2%, while India's Nifty 50 opened 0.4% higher on Thursday. The S&P ASX 200 slipping 0.6%, dragged by the energy sub-index dropping over 5% on lower oil prices. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 closed lower in choppy trading after the Federal Reserve cut interest rates by an expected 25 basis points, and Fed Chair Jerome Powell cited the weak job market.
U.S. stocks ended mixed on Wednesday, with the Dow gaining more than 0.5%, the S&P 500 dipping 0.1%, and the Nasdaq shedding 0.33%. The U.S. Federal Reserve cut interest rates by an expected 25 basis points and projected 2 more quarter percentage point cuts this year. While Fed Chair Jerome Powell discussed the mounting risks to employment, he said inflation concerns still must be managed. Lower rates should be a catalyst to keep the bull market rally going. Financial stocks helped boost the Dow, with American Express gaining more than 2.5% and Goldman Sachs adding more than 1%. Among other movers, shares of Lyft popped more than 13% on the news that Alphabet's Waymo would launch autonomous cab rides in Nashville next year in collaboration with the ride-hailing firm. Shares of rival Uber fell 5%. And shares of Workday jumped more than 7% on the news that activist investor Elliott Management took a more than $2 billion stake in the human resources software provider.
Britain's largest car maker, Jaguar Land Rover, said a pause in production due to a cyber attack would now stretch to the 24th of September, extending the stoppage at its British plants to more than 3 weeks.
Britain's largest car maker, Jaguar Land Rover, said a pause in production due to a cyber attack would now stretch to September the 24th. That extends the stoppage at its British plants to more than 3 weeks. It said it shut down its systems in early September to contain the hack that severely disrupted its retail and manufacturing operations. The luxury car maker, owned by India's Tata Motors, has 3 factories in Britain that usually produce about 1,000 cars per day, but it's told many of its 33,000 staff to stay at home. There's also concern about the financial impact of the stoppage on JLR's British supply chain. It includes many smaller companies and supports 104,000 jobs across the country. The Unite trade union has warned of job losses and said government support would be needed given the lengthy stoppage. JLR has said the incident has affected some data, although it remains unclear whether it involved customers, suppliers or internal systems. The breach was the latest in a string of cyber and ransomware attacks targeting companies around the world. In Britain, household names including Marks & Spencer and Co-op have fallen victim to increasingly sophisticated breaches.
And that wraps up today's Nightly Business Report. We value your opinion as always, so please share your thoughts and feedback with us through email at feedback.ad24english@derana.lk or via WhatsApp at 076805793. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest updates across the business globe, and Vinod Varnasurya will meet you next with other Derana Sports Central. Till then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great night.